Well, hello and welcome to MelissaWhiteRealty.com. My name is Melissa White and I am the owner and managing broker of this office. So I'm still answering questions in the Q&A section. This is the blog section of my website. The question is, what is a lease with an option to buy? Okay, so here's your answer. Basically, a home seller may have had their house on the market for a while and it did not sell because of just because of the market and the saturation of the homes in the property in the current market. So they decided, instead of just allowing the home to just sit vacant and not making any money, another option would be to rent the home out, which is a great idea because it creates residual income for the home seller. So what they do is they put it on the market with the realtor with for sale, and then they'll market it also as for lease with the option to buy. Now then we have a buyer who wants to buy a home, but they're having some difficulties, some challenges, maybe with their credit, or maybe they don't have enough down payment, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe they may not have enough job history on their current job, so they have to wait. So there are a variety of reasons why some things do not work out. So basically, we have a home seller who is trying to sell or trying to rent, and then we have a buyer who wants to buy, but they're not quite in the position that they need to be. So they come to their realtor and ask, well, is there any kind of situations out there where I'll be able to do a lease with the option to buy? And the realtor will say, of course, come on in and sit down, come right in. And so they'll begin to ask the, normal questions, which area would you prefer to live in? What type of home, what type of situation were you really looking to get into? Okay, so then they, the realtor will pull up some options. You'll go out on some listing appointments and things of that nature. Once you find the home, then you'll sit down with your realtor and you'll go over the application process, maybe a lease and things of that nature. Now, while you're going out with the realtor and you're looking at different possibilities, the buyer, you definitely want to sit down with a lender. You don't forego the lender in this process. You want to sit down with a lender to ask them, okay, I know that you said that I'm not really in the position where I need to be in at this particular time, but can you explain to me, how do I go about doing this lease with the option to buy? As far as the finance aspect, that's what the lender is for. They're for the finance aspect. Ask them, what do you need from me? How much money do I need to set aside each month to prepare myself to make a transition? Explain to the lender that, yes, I'm getting into a situation where it's going to be a lease with the option to buy, and I want to execute a lease for this amount of time, and then have that expire, and then transition into the purchase part at the end of the lease. And so the lender will explain to you how much you need to set aside each month, and the lender will explain to you what you need to do as far as credit repair if that was the issue. Okay, so you are preparing yourself, and I highly recommend that you talk to a lender regarding this. Some people are very disciplined and they can handle this all on their own, but it's very smart to go through a lender, because at the expiration of your lease, you're going to have to go back to a lender or go to a lender to execute the purchase part of your agreement. And so it's better to have a communication or relationship all along with someone who can get you ready for that transition. Okay, it's just smart. Now, so you sit down, you tell the realtor, okay, this is the property. You fill out the application, you get together your security deposit, and the realtor will submit the application and everything to the other realtor. They will take it to their client and sit down, and they will discuss, what they want to do. Now, so basically, the lease is like renting a regular apartment, except the difference is that you're inside of a home. The difference is that you're working towards purchasing this home. You're setting aside money each month. You're working on your credit while you're in the home. You're building job history while you're in the home, because the duration of the agreement is going to give you time to build job history and things of that nature. So while you're in the home, you want to be working towards these things. You don't just get in the home and say, oh, I got a house, and that's it. No, that's just the beginning of the process. Okay, and so basically, typically a lease with options. By the lease part of the agreement, sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 3 years. It just depends. Okay, and at the end of that agreement, at the expiration of the lease segment of the agreement, then comes the purchase. And it's like a regular purchase. Now you have the funds ready. Now your credit has been built up. Now you have the job history. All of those things, all of those challenges that you had along the way in the beginning should now be rectified. It should be free and clear at this point. So now you're ready to transition. One great thing for the buyer when you're doing a lease with the option to buy is that you get to lock in a purchase price. Now, in most communities with real estate, your property appreciates every year. The value of your home increases over the years. So if you execute an agreement, say this year, 2011, then the expiration of your agreement, your lease part of the agreement is 3 years from now. Most of the time your property would have appreciated. But since you locked in a purchase price, you're going to pay just that purchase price. Even if the purchase price, let's say, was $300,000. Now, in 3 years from now, maybe the property is now worth $320,000. You're not going to pay the $320,000. Why? Because you locked in your purchase price at $300,000. So that's great. Even though all of the homes around you may be appreciating, you still have that price locked in. And so now you're in a greater situation because now you're buying a property that has appreciated since you've been in it. And it now has built-in equity, which is great. It's always nice to purchase a home that has built-in equity in it. Yes. So it's good for the home seller because their house is not just sitting on the market, vacant and empty. It's a great situation for both parties. And plus, the home seller is creating residual income. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can reach me at 708-821-6688, or you can go to my website at www.melissawhiterealty.com.